Greetings and salutations, everybody out on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to Cruising with the Carsons today. I got to give a big shout out to Mike Connors, who just happened to be driving by on the road outside of where we live. He saw our camper and he said, I recognize that rig from YouTube. So he stopped in to introduce himself and say hi. Come to find out that he goes down to Arizona about 15 minutes from where we go. So we're gonna hook up this winter while we're down south and get to know each other a little more and have some fun. And that's half the beauty of RV life, you guys. I've met the best friends, I've met some lifelong friends, and it's just been an amazing journey. So I hope that you're forming those lasting friendships and relationships. But what I want to bring you today is my property that we purchased back in April. As you can see here, I've taken you on many journeys. We're out here building our house right now. And if you watched the last episode, you'd see that I've got the RV out here now. But what I wanted to talk about was just when you think that you own your property, sometimes that's just not the case. And I'm going to tell you why. So when I went to get my building permit for the property, I first pulled the permit for my shop that I built. And then I went to pull the one for the house, and they tried to tell me that I can't build the shop before the house. And I asked them why, and they said because they didn't want to promote people just building a shop and then trying to live out of their shop. And I thought, well, that sounds kind of silly, but apparently people must have tried to do it, otherwise they wouldn't have that in place. But when I purchased our property, I was given what they call covenants and restrictions. And what that is when you move out to a property, the covenants and restrictions govern what you can and can't do. So out here it was relatively simple. The covenants simply were you can't have any livestock or wild animals on the property, or kept animals other than like dogs, cats, that kind of stuff. You have to build an attached garage of more than or up to 470 square feet or more. Your house has to be a minimum of 980 square feet or more. And that was pretty much it. Super simple, right? Wrong. There's more to the story. So I started building the house, started building the shop. We moved the RV out here to live in a couple weeks back, as you know, if you followed the channel, to live in the RV on site while I'm completing the construction on the house. Well, they come to tell me that you can't live in an RV out on this property. And I said, why is that? I'm obviously in the middle of construction. So they wanted to try to govern me and give me a certain amount of time that I have to complete the house. And I told them, basically, I'll get the house done when I get it done. I'm a contractor, I'm busy, I have my own jobs going on right now, and I've been building this home since early May, and we're hoping for completion into November. So along with that, all of a sudden, I get a letter in the mail that says, you can't store an RV on the property if it's over 22 feet long. And I said to the city, well, why wasn't that in the covenants? Sorry, we got a lot of bees out today. Oh, I actually got that one. They tried to tell me that I can't have an RV stored out here over 22 feet. And I pushed back and I said to the city, who says I'm storing my RV out here? I'm living in it during the completion of our construction. So I got a little pushback from them. And if I want to take it further, they want to fine me $500 for each month that I'm storing an RV on the property. And I said, why isn't that in the covenants and restrictions? They said, well, it's a completely different set of rules. I basically said, I purchased the land under the premise of the covenants and restrictions that my house had to be X amount of square feet or more with an attached garage that's X amount of square feet or more. We solved the conundrum of the shop versus the house build, even though they went on almost simultaneously. And I basically said, well, if you want to push the envelope, then I'll see you at the next city council meeting. When is that? Apparently they meet once a month. I haven't heard anything since then, so I'm kind of waiting to see if they're going to push back some more. But the point of the story is, just when you think that you own your land the government, the city, the county, they can say differently. I'd like to know your opinions on that and your feedback about that and what you think, if it's happened to you. I came across a video on an RV channel called Life of Hummels. And that's how I found something in common with those YouTubers that run that channel. I thought, you know, I'm living the same experience they're having. They just had a video a couple weeks ago said we're getting kicked off of our land. So I watched it and I thought, you know what? I want to go public about what's happened to me in my situation out here. Even though we live out in the country, as you can see here, they want to put restrictions and strictures and they want to throttle what I'm doing out here. So again, I'd like to know what you guys think about that. So this weekend, we're heading out to Shell Lake, Wisconsin for our annual Fall Colors ride on side-by-sides. So I'll keep you up to date on that. We'll get some video footage. We do it every year. And I'll take you along on that journey, but it's going to be nice to get out of here for a long weekend. We're leaving tomorrow, which is Thursday. I have not had a weekend off to myself since early June. I've been working straight through on our jobs and on building this house. So I'm not fully retired like a lot of those other YouTubers have been saying. I still work my job. I'm 62 years old. But again, a shout out to Mike Connors for stopping by. Looking forward to getting to know you, brother. And again, I encourage you people in the RV world to get out there, knock on doors, get to meet those people, form those friendships and those lasting relationships, because you never know when you're going to meet a really good person that just might change your life, or you might just change their life. So be positive about the RV industry, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to see you on the next one. Bye.